Alright guys, today we're here with Colby Milne. This guy finds more big sheds than anyone I've ever met.
My dad actually found this set. We named him Chum. We didn't name him this year, we named him next year when we found him, but we picked up this set. It's just a decent buck. He's got some big old bases for a young buck. I think these ones are probably around 6 inches. Cool buck, a little bit of trash. So we held on to him because you never know what a deer's gonna turn into. So
yeah,
we sell the cooler horns until we find out. Then we went in there the next year in the spring.
Oh my gosh. That's insane. Those bases, I've never seen anything like that.
Ridiculous.
Here, come up here with those real quick, because that's crazy. Like put your hands.
Yeah, they're
oh my gosh.
ridiculous.
Like my hands can't even fit around them. That's crazy.
I had gotten back from the truck and I was waiting for him and I was wondering why he hadn't been back, and he calls me and gets a hold of me on the radio. He's like, dude, I just picked up a monster horn. So I take off, head his direction, and he's like, get over here, it's still laying there, I haven't picked it up yet. He'll find a giant horn and he'll let it lay on the ground and take ATLs and he'll walk around. I instantly pick them up. My ATLs are all fake. I have to pick them up first. But I go over and I see it and the base is just shiny red. And there's massive bounding buck tracks. Like he picked up a horn, did a big loop, didn't find anything, so he came back to where he picked up the brown, and as he's walking back down the ridge, he jumped this buck. And so he walked over where he jumped it, and this horn's laying there, big fresh buck tracks. So
probably within minutes.
I see it, and I'm just, what?
Probably within minutes.
Oh
like
yeah. He said he heard the buck bound.
Gosh.
So I see it, and I'm like, oh, we gotta find the other side.
Yeah.
So instantly we just start tracking the buck, just kind of following his tracks, and he went from bound to kind of a walk through this big old meadow, and we're just kind of following him, and we kind of follow him up over some ridges, and I mean, we'd gone about probably almost a mile, and then we start thinking, well, maybe he had already dropped before he dropped this side and we're following him for no reason. And it was about to get dark, but I was determined to follow him until dark because I was like, we're gonna walk up on that horn. And sure enough, went over a couple more hills just kind of following his tracks, and there was a big old dead tree that he jumped over. I mean, this tree was 6-7 feet off the ground. I don't know how he bounded over it. He bounded over it. You walk around and there's snow, and this thing was just laying, just tines up right in the snow.
Oh my gosh.
It was a pretty cool moment, and I mean, I was pumped. I mean, this side, it's dry now, but I mean, it was blood red.
Gosh.
And we were pumped, and we knew it was that same buck, so we're like, awesome. You know, we got lucky, picked up another set off him. And then we kept hitting the area really hard for the next couple of years, and we couldn't find him. We thought maybe he was old because his bases were so big, so we thought maybe he died or moved out of the area. And then, I don't know, so we picked those up in 2012. So then in 2015, I was archery hunting, and I had trail cam set up, and actually, let me spin it back. My buddy Trevor was asking me, hey, where should I put up a camera, blah, blah. And I told him, like, check out this water hole I found. I'm like, I had a camera on it like the year before that, and had some decent bucks and stuff. And so he goes, puts a camera on it, and then he calls me, he's like, dude, I got a picture of a sweet buck. And I had a tag for the area, and he's like, dude, we gotta get cameras on it, and you gotta hunt it. So then we got some more cameras set up on it to get some good pictures of him, and I mean, he's awesome, just crazy, massive, heavy, giant buck. Tried to hunt him just because of pressure from other hunters and everything. It didn't work out. Couldn't get him smart. He turned nocturnal. Anyways, I hit the area kind of hard looking for his sheds because I figured he'd probably shed in the area because it was like kind of like shed horn elevation. Couldn't find him. The next year would have been when he shed. Couldn't find the horns. Then the following year, I ran cameras again, got pictures of him again, and he was just kind of different, still big. And then that spring, my dad went out shed hunting with his buddy, and I went out with my wife. And when I got back into service, I had a text from my dad, dude, Chum's still alive. This buck right here is like,
no.
And I'm like, I try to get a hold of him, I'm like, there's no way he's still alive. And he's like, dude, I found him. I'm like, send me a picture. So he sends me a picture of the horn. I'm like, you sure that's Chum? That's the buck I've been hunting. I'm like, that's the buck I have on trail camera. And he's like, it is? And I'm like, yeah. And then obviously, we compared the horns, and then he found them within a half mile of where he found the other ones. And that's the buck.
Oh my gosh,
so it just
that's so nasty.
He disappeared, and I caught him on trail camera, and he was still alive. I mean, he's as big as ever.
Look at that. Like everything, like that main beam is so cool. Just those like little points coming up. Like
we couldn't match it up. We still haven't yet. I mean, we're still looking. He broke a point here that was about 2.5, and then this one on the front's about 1.5 inches. But broke, he was 113.5. So not broke, he's 116, maybe 117. But he's just, that base was like 8 and almost 3/4, I think. I mean,
that's insane.
It's ridiculous. I mean, he's a pretty awesome buck.
Crap.
So then, obviously, I was pretty hurt that I didn't get to kill him in the velvet with my bow, but I'll take the horn.
Yeah, at least you got a piece of him.
Yeah, he's a stud buck.
Gee whiz.
So there's another set and the other side of this that we gotta find. And my dad won't give up. I mean, we go back in that spot, you'll hit it all day and we'll find one horn, but he won't give up. And then this buck. It's my dad's set. Lucky guy. It's his biggest set.
Oh yeah, that's
Big
so
old,
crazy.
The tines on this thing are ridiculous. And we picked up between, so my dad's buddy picked up the first one off him, which was this side. Then I matched it up for him, the other side, and then our buddy's wife picked up a horn before that off him, a smaller horn. It's still a good horn, it's like an 8-inch horn. And they knew somebody with the other side of that one, so that was 2 sets. And we were in there looking, and my dad walked right up on these. I mean, they were laying 3 feet apart. These giant, only thing broken on them is that eye guard, which is like about 2 inches. Pretty neat buck. He went, I think this side was 106, this side was 103 broke. With inside spread, I think he's like 234. 234, yeah, 234, 236-ish, not broke.
I hate that buck. Jeez, that's so cool.
And then unfortunately, the year after this, they killed him with the gov tag, which was a shame for Conley and shame for us, because we were hoping to pick him up and they were hoping to kill him. But
we were close, but not close enough.
Exactly.
Shoot.
Exactly.
Yeah.
These big bucks, they can't hide good enough, unfortunately.
Gosh, that's awesome.
But yeah, when he actually called me right after he picked him up. He's like, dude, I think I found him. I wasn't with him again, of course. He's like, I think I found him. And I'm like, no way. He's like, dude, he's giant. It has to be him, and it for sure is him. I mean, he's a very unique buck. So we were hoping to find him again because all of his horns are like relatively close, relatively in the same area. But nope, they got him, so unfortunately. It's pretty special. It's the most horns we have off a deer. This side, we have 5 ears off this side. We only have 3 off this. We have 2 matches missing, but this was the first horn picked up off him. My dad did a solo trip back in 2009. He did a big loop, and on his way back to the Jeep, he picked up this horn. He brought it back to the house, and I was just pissed that I didn't go with him. And that
Look at that eye guard. That's crazy.
I'll pull it up close. It's a pretty sweet eye guard, but he picked it up in December. We didn't make it back in here till May of the following year, and we were actually leaving a spot that I picked up like an 87-inch horn, and it was kind of like been a long day, so I'm like, oh, let's just go home. And he's like, no, we gotta go in there. We gotta go in there, and I'm like, fine. I'm like, 30-minute hike. That's all we're gonna do. And he's like, okay. So right off the bat, we start hiking. Picked up a couple horns, and I was walking up a ridge, and I picked up like a hard white. And I'm like, okay, it's time. I call my radio. I'm like, hey, we're leaving. We're going to Mars. We're getting out of here. So then start going down the ridge, and I look at my radio, and I was actually following where. So my dad was in front of me, and I didn't know. So he peeled off the side of the hill, which where I was gonna go. So then I'm like, okay, I guess I'll walk off the end of it. And as I go to walk off the end, I get down to the bottom, and I look across the wash, and I see some tine sticking up, and I'm like, oh, it looks like a 3-point horn. Get walking over there, and I freaking pick up.
Oh my gosh.
This freaking giant.
That's insane.
When I walked up on it, I could not believe it, how big it was. So I call him on the radio, start freaking out. And he comes over and he's like, don't pick it up, I gotta get an ATL. So I picked it up, I set it back down now. And we obviously didn't leave. We stayed there till dark, couldn't match it up.
Gosh.
And I mean, it's...
So what is that side?
It's 97 inches typically. I mean, you get an inch for that, so I guess it's 96, you get 97 with that little cheater, but...
The camera really doesn't do that justice. Like, that's insane big. Like,
almost
freaking monster.
I think the beam was about 26, had 21 and a half inches of mass. It's probably my favorite horn. Doesn't have any cracks. It's a beautiful horn.
Jeez.
So in the process of trying to match it up, we ended up picking up all these other horns off this buck. This buck obviously never left that area. Here's the biggest set we have off him. It's not, I mean, he's a cool buck. He's just not got genetics to be a giant, but I don't know if you can see those.
Yeah, look at those eye guards. It's
They're
crazy.
He's a cool buck. Yep, he's a cool buck. We picked up these horns off him and picked up a few other cool real bucks in there, but they're all older horns. It was interesting that this thing was one of the few newer horns in there, and we just never matched them up, never found another horn off him. And
that'd be interesting, like if his side was the same, or if it was like a big 3-point, or...
I've always thought, I have a couple weird little horns, and I'm like, he's probably like a one-horn deer or something. I've yet to see anyone post a picture of the other horn, so it's out there rotting away. Unfortunately. This horn is actually, it's a pretty cool horn. It's,
holy crap. That's insane.
I think some people call him Nasty Jack. He's this big old strip buck. It was one of my first trips out there with my good buddy Trevor Davenport, and I got lucky. It's I had to fix that cheater. That cheater broke. I saw some trail cam pics of him, and it's actually pretty spot on. He's got a few other little broken points, but not broke. He's a little over 100 inches, like 102. Just a big old nasty buck. Couldn't match him up either.
So I have a question. Like, are you going out there like trying to find specific deer, or
nowadays? Definitely. Back when I picked this up in 2010, I didn't know the strip very well. I'd been out there quite a bit, but I just didn't know much. And now that I know the area quite a bit, like I can see, pictures of bucks or bucks getting killed, and I recognize the area, and then I'll go and try and pursue like the horns off a certain buck.
Okay.
But I guess, yeah, technically, I remember seeing pictures of this buck and hearing about this buck. So there was a couple bucks that we were kind of in the area for, but I wasn't expecting to find them.
Yeah.
By any means.
That's kind of cool too. That hollow, like that little hole in there too. That's cool.
Little hole right there.
Let's see if I can.
And actually.
Yeah, that's sweet.
And in the pedicle, if you look in the pedicle, he's got some weird holes in the pedicle. It's very interesting.
Oh wow.
But couldn't match him up either. And there was like 120-inch horn. I think the next year to this side, it exploded.
All right, guys. Thanks for watching another episode of Muley Story Monday. We're going to do another giveaway this coming week, so make sure you subscribe to get entered on that. We're going to give away another bow snatcher. So anyways, Colby Milne, he just has tons of big sheds, so we're going to have to do probably another episode or two. They have a huge collection of just giant sheds, so stay tuned for that, and thank you guys for your support as always.